In this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid a false breakout at the market open when trading US30. The most frustrating thing is getting your stops hit right at the market open and then the market actually going in the direction you anticipated it to go into. Before we start, if you need help with trading whatsoever, make sure you follow me on Instagram and send me a message. Also, I am going to be releasing a forex inner circle where I show you guys my exact US30 strategy and take you on a journey from not knowing how to trade US30 to hitting a six-figure income within 6 to 12 months. The inner circle will be dropping in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, I've noticed that the minute 15 time frame is probably the best time frame to trade at the market open. The minute 5 is great, the minute 1 is great, but on those time frames your stop losses are going to be a lot smaller from the previous point of resistance or support. So when you're trading on the minute 15, this kind of gives you a buffer, just makes you give you some leeway when the markets are opening so you don't get trapped in a false breakout. So this actually was like the market open right here today, and realistically the thing that I'm looking for before the market open is I want to see a trend already forming. I don't want to see the markets super choppy, just all over the place. I want to see a clear directional bias on what the market is doing so I could just go with the trend, because at the end of the day the trend is your friend. Also, I am not trading Wednesdays whatsoever. I don't care what the excuse is. I will never trade Wednesdays again with US30. It's just burned me too many times, and I suggest you guys do the same thing. So this is a really good example. What I'm also looking for is what's happening during the Asia session going into the London, because that's going to give me a very strong directional bias on what's actually going to happen during the New York session. So our overall trend was up. If we do look at the daily chart, the previous daily candle from yesterday was a beautiful spinning top or a shooting star candle, and it was just absolutely perfect. It pushed up to the next level perfectly, rejected the psychological level, and looks like it's probably going to push up to the next psychological level right here of 33,250 next. So at the market open, when I came to the markets, I already had saw that it was in a clean uptrend. So I was like, do you know what? We're already in an uptrend. We're forming higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. And all I saw right here was a perfect higher high. Now you guys are probably like, Colt, but it's rejecting the psychological level right here. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But our next candle right here that came out at 6:15 that closed at 6:30 was extremely bullish. This is a very bullish candle right here, and I said, do you know what? This candle did close bullish. It looks like it did reject this level of support and is closing above. And I said, do you know what? What we're going to see next is a higher high. So I said, do you know what? I'm going to go long right at the market open. This was the exact trade that I took today. And I like to have my stops a little bit bigger, so I was like, do you know what? I'm going to have my stops below the support level in case it wants to retest it and then go up. And a lot of the time with US30 guys, you need to have a nice buffer for your stop loss. So I like to have a stop loss like at least 500 pips plus, because that prevents me from getting stopped out and then US30 actually going in the way that I want, or in the direction that I want. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have my stops right below here, just in case it wants to goof around a little bit and then push up. And then I was like, I'm just going to go for the previous high right here. A little bit below that, and I actually did close at like 500 pips, so I didn't hold my trade all the way. But I was like, do you know what? This is just looking like a higher low right here. I think it's going to form a new higher high and break this psychological level right here. So I went long right at the market open. And a lot of the time, actually most all the time when I'm trading US30, I'm not using buy limits, I'm not using sell limits, I'm literally just entering my market execution every time, especially at the market open. So right before the market open, I'm looking at the previous 15-minute candle or the current 15-minute candle, and that's going to give me the directional bias on what I'm going to do next. Since I saw this was a higher low, I said, you know what, we're going to form a new higher high. Right as we come out, there's the market open, pushes up, and then boom, keeps pushing up. So that was the move that I anticipated right here. Also notice here, guys, how big these candles are. When we have these big long candles like this, that means we have a lot of volume in these candles right here. Notice how these candles are much bigger than these candles all throughout here. That's showing us that there was very good volume within the London session. We kept pushing up. So overall, my trend, like I said a second ago, my trend was bullish, or my bias was bullish. But then right as the New York session came in, it opened up. Notice how it just shot up. This is where all the volume shot up right here. None of these candles right here are much bigger than all these candles right here. We had some nice volume right here, but these candles are much bigger. So what I'm looking for is low volume within the Asia session and the London session, and that's going to tell me that the volume is really going to come in during the New York session. So let's go back like 2 weeks and look at the market. So our false breakout right here, or there's the market open right here. This isn't a really clean day. We did have a push up right after the market opened. But yeah, that's not what I'm really looking for. Okay, right here is a pretty nice day. Nah, this was a false breakout. Would have shot down. So a lot of the time, if I don't see a nice setup for me, like right here, this was a really nice day. The Asia session consolidated. London session consolidating into an uptrend. So the consolidation was consolidating up. But look at the market open right here. This candle told me it was going to go down. So this is a major key point right here. If I see that we're consolidating in an uptrend like this, at the market open, if I see a candle that's pushing down like this, I'm going to say, do you know what? I'm not going to trade right at the market open bell. I'm going to wait till 6:45 or 7 a.m. to confirm my bias, because at the end of the day, my bias right here was long. I was definitely going to go with the trend right here. So this looks like a higher high, and this was our higher low. So I would have anticipated that a higher low was going to form, so I would have waited. So right here's our higher high. Here's our higher low within these two candles right here. And once this doji closed, then I would have been like, do you know what? We're going long. Let's target our next psychological level of 31,500. That's where we're going. So when you do see a candle that's not really adding up to the trend that we're in, sometimes you just have to pass and wait for that next 15-minute candle to close at 6:45 or 7 a.m. And those candles will give you the actual bias on what the market's going to do. So the key times I'm taking trades are 6:30, 6:45, and 7 a.m. on the minute 15 time frame. So this day right here is absolutely beautiful. Avoided that false breakout right here because it did shoot down when realistically our bias was to go up. So if you would have taken a short right here off this candle, cool, you would have been in profit, and then you would have had to switch your bias from shorts to longs. But it's really hard to do that because a lot of the time when we're trading, we marry a bias and we're saying, you know what, I'm going short, this is my bias. So it's really hard to switch your mindset from saying, do you know what, I'm marrying this bias of going short, and then you see a setup where like, do you know what, this is showing longs, but you're so stuck in your ways of marrying that bias that you don't close your trade that you're in to switch to a different bias. So that's what you guys really need to understand too, is you need to react very quickly to if your bias is changing. You need to be like, do you know what, this isn't the right bias, I need to change immediately. Get rid of that mindset of stay to that one trade and switch, because that's going to save you in the long run. So beautiful day right here. 19th, that was a Tuesday right there. So the next day is Wednesday. Look at this is Wednesday, just choppy. You guys don't want to be trading this. Especially look at the market open right here. Like, what? Also, if I'm going into a trade at the market open and I already see a big move right before the market open, I'm going to pass and wait for that 6:45 or 7 a.m. candle to form. Skip Wednesday. even this day was trash right here. Now this is a very good example too. I want to sell high and I want to buy low. So when I see the market open has already had a big drop before the market open, meaning that the volume has already kind of started happening before the market open, I'm going to pass on the trade and I'm going to wait for a setup to form. So right here, I would have passed on this trade because my stops would have been all the way up here and the market's already down here. Most of the move had already happened at the market open. So when the market open happened right here, it just pushed down barely. I want to be catching this move. If this was the market open, if this candle closed at 630, I would have sold down to the psychological level for sure. Next day is Friday. So here's the market open. There's that false breakout. Notice how we already had a lot of volume come in before the market opened. So it had pushed up and then closed. So these are one of those days where the Asia session was great. The London session was great. It was consolidating into an uptrend. But I want to be buying like right here on a candle like this and then boom, getting the volume right as the market opened. Right here, the volume had already happened. So this is a day where I would have been patient, waited for that 645 candle to close right here, and then rode it down. That would have been a beautiful trade right there. This is Monday. Also, when I see the markets are super wicked like this, I'm avoiding the markets. But yo, this is a clean setup. Here's the market open. We have a bearish shooting star rejecting our psychological level right here and then just smashes to the downside. So this right here would have been a very nice trade to take. Notice how we are now in a downtrend. We have this lower low, then a lower high, and then we have a new lower low that's going to form right here. So this would have been a really good day to trade. I would have taken that trade right there. Now that is really what I wanted to show you guys in this video. I hope you got some key pointers and some notes. And like I said, guys, if you want to learn how to trade, if you need help whatsoever, message me on Instagram. There is the link for my Instagram below in the description. And let's talk until I can help you guys out. See you guys on the next video. Peace.